WTF Boxing Talk, back with another one. This video is about Cody Crowley versus Abel Ramos. I just watched that fight, so let's get into it. First of all, shout out to both fighters for a spectacular fight. Right, it was a very high energy fight from start to finish. Both fighters are going to be at the top of the welterweight division for sure. Okay. Once Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford leaves the welterweight class, I can see Abel Ramos and I can see Cody Crowley for sure being some of the top fighters in that division until they move up or do whatever they decide. But coming into the ring, both of those fighters looked great. They looked to be in tremendous condition. Abel Ramos, he looks like his training went well. He was in good shape, really good physical shape. Cody Crowley as well. He looked super conditioned. He was shredded, vascular coming into the ring. So he looked really good. He had a great training camp as well. It seems just based on how they looked coming in there. So you can already tell it was going to be fireworks just based on the condition that they were in. So it was awesome. I was pretty much looking forward to this fight because I actually saw Cody Crowley's last fight in April of 2022. That was actually here in Texas, and I went to the AT&T Stadium, that's Jerry's World, where they fought. He fought on the Spence Ugas card, so that's where I actually saw Cody Crowley. He fought Josecito Lopez on that fight, and after I watched that fight, that's where I became a huge fan of Crowley. I was like, this guy's sharp. He's going to be dangerous in the 147 division. So ever since then, I was like, yeah, I gotta keep up with him and see how his fights go. So that's where I was introduced to Cody, and that's where I started to follow his fights. So pretty much that's why I wanted to see how this one would turn out. So a few things about this fight that I think are worth acknowledging is, first of all, the fight happened on Cody's birthday, right? So he fought on the night of his birthday. So yeah, happy belated birthday to Cody. That's pretty dope, and he performed very well. So that's good. He also dedicated that fight to his dad, who he passed away last summer. He ended up ending his life. So this fight was actually dedicated to his dad. Ever since that situation happened with his dad, Cody pretty much became like a mental health advocate, and he started encouraging men more to be more aware of their mental health and pretty much to not bury their feelings, because he felt like that's something that his dad did, and then that's what he doesn't want men to do in general, is to bury their feelings. So I support him on that because I think that we do need healthier ways of coping with life, people in general, but men especially. We have a lot of pressure on us from society, so a lot of times we feel alone because we can't really figure stuff out. But for that reason, I do support his efforts to raise awareness and to just encouraging men to express themselves and things like that. So I support that. Cody, he even struggled with mental health himself, so he's been winning, so keep up the good work, keep up the great job, Cody. He's definitely had his own fair share of struggles there. But as far as the fight goes, Cody won the fight by majority decision, right? And that pretty much means that one of the judges thought that it was a tie, like a draw, and then the other two judges pretty much said that Cody won. So that's what the majority decision is. But in that fight, yeah, Cody earned that fight. He earned that win without a doubt, right? So as far as the fight itself, they went the distance. It ended up going to the last round, round 12, and that's when he got the decision. Cody did a lot of things very well in that fight, and he was pretty much on Abel Ramos behind the whole fight, like he wouldn't let up on him. From round one, Cody pretty much set the pace. He dictated the pace, and he controlled the fight from round one right on through, right? So round by round, Cody did well. I gave him round one. I think Cody won that round. Same with round two. In the second round, though, he ended up, it wasn't him, but Ramos ended up losing his footing and he kind of fell. So, there was some excitement about that. The crowd got wild, but it wasn't a knockdown or anything like that. It just looked like he was off balance and he fell. He lost his footing. So, rounds 1 and 2, I gave to Crowley. Round 3, I think Crowley won that one as well. He was just very high energy and he was pushing the pace and he was controlling the fight. Round 4, I think I want to say he pretty much did the same. He pretty much controlled that. What my biggest observation was in that round is that I think the referee kind of threw off Ramos's momentum because of some low blow warnings from Ramos. Ramos was kind of hitting, I would say he was hitting on the belt line. I don't think it was below the belt line, but it was on the belt or maybe a little lower at some point. So the referee kept kind of pointing that out. And, that's part of referee's job. You want to make sure the fighters are following the rules. But I felt like that kind of threw off his momentum and it made him, a little hesitant at some points where maybe Ramos would have, fought differently. So I think that did affect Ramos, just and I don't think he was intentionally doing it, but just how it goes in the fights. So that I would definitely be interested to see how Ramos would have performed with a different referee, just to kind of see if he would have been able to build his momentum a little bit better early on in the fight. So yeah, rounds 4 and 5, I gave those to Crowley. Round 6 is where Ramos, he was noticeably more active. Like he picked up the pace and he started kind of getting comfortable, started pushing the pace a little bit. So I gave round 6 to Ramos. He was active like rounds 4 and 5 as well, but round 6 he was noticeably like more active, and he kind of, I guess he got more comfortable, and he wasn't as worried about the low blow calls and stuff from the refs at that point. Round 7, Ramos was still pretty active in that round. I would give round 7 to Crowley, just by a slight edge. It can swing either way, just depending on what your thoughts are. But I would say Crowley edged out round 7. Round 8, I gave to Crowley as well, just like round 9. I think Crowley took it. Round 10 was very noticeably different. Crowley changed the pace. He changed his game plan in round 10. So he kind of eased up and boxed instead of going on the inside and standing and banging with him. So he did more boxing in round 10. He completely switched it up. I think that probably confused Ramos because, Crowley was in his face the entire fight. Every round he was in his face. Like every round started off with as soon as the fight started for that round, Crowley backed him up into the corner of the ring, and he was just controlling the pace of the fight and controlling the fight in general. But round 10 came around, and he wasn't on him or attacking. He wasn't being as aggressive or in your face that round. He kind of stood his ground and he boxed with him more. So round 10 was a switch up in the game plan, and I do remember his trainer in the corner telling him like, "Hey, Ramos is expecting you to rush in there on him or whatever, and he's expecting you to, get in his face. So he's probably planning how to counter that." So yeah, round 10, Crowley changed his game plan, didn't get in his face, just kind of traded punches, and he played it safe in that round. And then round 11, he was right back on Ramos, like in his face, in his grill, bringing the action to him, just very aggressive, and just wouldn't ease up off him, And then we got to round 10. I would say round 10 I gave to Crowley. I think he outboxed him. Round 11, I would say Ramos maybe. Initially, I was giving it to Ramos because it looked like there was a knockdown, but it actually ended up not being a knockdown. It was just more of could have been a balance thing, or he caught Crowley with a punch, and Crowley ducked, and he ducked really, really low, and his glove may have ended up touching the ground, and so it looked like a knockout. But after they reviewed it, they ruled it not a knockdown, right? And I didn't think it was a knockdown either. I just think that he caught Crowley by surprise, and Crowley ducked down super low, maybe just out of surprise. But yeah, so round 11, I don't know. I'd give it to Crowley, I guess, but I'll let you guys decide that one. And then round 12 was pretty similar to round 10. Crowley did not rush in. He didn't get in his face and push the action. He kind of boxed with him, and you can tell when he took that type of approach, Ramos was a lot more comfortable because he can breathe, he can think, he can throw punches a little better. So I did see that that was more comfortable for Ramos to deal with. All right. Ramos, super dangerous fighter. Just watching this fight, I can tell that he's powerful. His right hand is crazy. He's got a deadly right hand. You got to watch out for that because Ramos can end up knocking you out if he gets that right hand placed properly. But yeah, man, great fight. Congratulations to Crowley. Good job to both fighters. They both looked good. They both fought well. They both lasted the entire fight, so I think they were in great condition. And yeah, can't wait to see what's next for both of them. I know Crowley, I'm not sure who he's going to fight next. I don't see either of them fighting Crawford or Spence unless they move up to maybe 154 or something at some point. But other than that, they're both gonna be at the top. I know I want to see them fight. Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Stanionis, a lot of those top guys. I think they'll do really well. So I'm looking forward to see how the future plays out for both Crowley and Ramos at 147. But I do know they're not gonna fight Spence or Crawford in that weight because once Spence and Crawford fights in June, they're pretty much done with 147. So this will be their last year at 147, and then I want to see who's gonna be the top dogs in 147 when the younger guys get to show what they're made of. So that is everything there. That's my take on the Crowley versus Ramos fight. Again, congratulations to Crowley for that win. He earned that win. He deserved that. He worked hard. Shout outs to Ramos because Ramos fought very well, and he did prove that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at 147. So, yep, thanks for tuning in. You guys take it easy, and I will see y'all on the next one.